And then F stands for they flee to the lotus feet of Vishnu whenever there is a danger. Om Tat Vishnum Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya. Prabhupada says the demigods run to the feet of Vishnu whenever they face any danger. You know that they all go to the Dugdha Sagar, no? Milk ocean, where they, along with Brahma, they pray to Vishnu. So demigods have a natural propensity to run to the Lord in danger always. They will not make any atheistic plans of their own. That is F. And G for goodness, mode of goodness they cultivate. So this is the Sura. Sura means A, B, C, D, F, G. So we have to cultivate this. Even as human being, if you cultivate this A, B, C, D, F, G, which I told you now, then our godly qualities will increase by this. I read further. And those
who are neglectful of these responsibilities or who have no information of them are called asuras, demons.
So if you read the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the asuras more. I'll just show you a little bit. See the angel and the animal. On the, you're showing it? The left side you see there is Buddha, Krishna, Jesus, Guru Nanak and all, correct? No? Divine. Other side, you have animal-like propensities. See here, these are all meditation mudras and all, correct? No? And that side you find all weapons. See. What is this side?
Obey God's laws.
They rebel against God's laws, correct? No? Okay, this side?
Selfless service to God and His children. Selfishly concerned about one's own gratification. Whatever I possess is gift of God. I am grateful. Everything I possess is earned by my own abilities, skill, and hard work.
So you can see the demoniac culture is I-centered. I, me, mine centered. Actually, one of the only difference between demon and demoniac, the main difference is Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daiva Asurastad Viparyaya. That's the main difference. Yeah. Everything else is a detail, because you will also find nowadays many people looking like a gentleman, wearing coat, boot, suit, tie, shaking hands. Don't expect that Asura means they should have two horns and teeth coming out of the mouth. That they can look very gentlemanly. Of course, now some children are wearing this red color. You have seen horns. How many of you seen that? And parents purchase and put it for them. That means they're bringing inside quality outside. Horrible it is. How can any parent want to see them like this? Surprising, no? So, and it has light inside, huh? It has light inside, yeah. Horn. But teeth they don't have, only this much. Yeah. So, yeah, Suras obey God's law. These fellows rebel against God's laws. And Suras are actually selfless, divine people. They have selfless service to God and these other jivas, children. These are selfish fellows. This is the third one is very important also. The Suras actually always think, it's all Krishna's mercy. He gave me the brain. He gave me the Shakti. He gave me the Buddhi. He gave me the Bal. Everything. Whereas demoniac always claim, take the credit for everything they do themselves.
Think before acting. Just do it.
Asu means immediate. Ra means Raman. That means they immediately want to enjoy. Instant pleasure they want, Asuras. But the Devatas are ready to patiently wait. Whenever Lord blesses, they will accept.
I follow advice of Guru, Sadhu and scriptures. I do what I like. I don't care for anyone. No one can control me.
Like you saw Kalia, did he hear did he accept the policy made by Brahma and Vasuki? Vasuki is the king of snakes, and Brahma is the leader of Vasuki also. Because Garuda wanted to take one snake every month. Agreement was made with Brahma. But Kalia thought, why should Garuda be supplied anything? So he took all the mountain of fruits kept for Garuda. And Garuda came and asked, hey, how can you take? Your king Vasuki has accepted, and the agreement is made with Brahma. But Kalia said, I don't care for anybody. I will do what I want. He said, why should we pay tax to you? Who are you? We are Kadru's, descendants. And you are Venata's descendant. We don't care about you. So here you find the whimsical behavior in Kalia, you find. See, first of all, disrespecting Vasuki itself is bad, but he's disrespecting ultimately Brahma also. Correct, no? That's the kind of behavior that demoniac show. I do what I like. I don't care for anyone. This kind of.
Eternal life of bliss, knowledge and service to God is my goal. Immediate pleasures are my goal.
So in this way, yeah. They're all divine qualities, is it? These are also qualities you will see: pride, anger, arrogance, conceit, harshness, ignorance. Uh, and this way, different things are given. Uh, say, asatyam apratishante, I told the sloka, no? They're unclean and improper behavior. They don't follow the Shastra. Hmm. See, what is the philosophy of the demons? They think, asatyam apratishtamte jagadahuranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama hetukam. That's their philosophy. What is it? Oh, this world is false, asatyam, apratishtam. Oh, there is no basis for this world. Just man, woman come together and expand the population, just eat, drink, and be merry and die one day. Finished. That is their philosophy. And then he says, Kamamashritya dushpuram, dambamana madanvita. They're very proud of their activities. They're sinful people. Kama upabhoga parama, yetavati nishchita, he says. And then the result is what? Asha apasha shatair baddha, kama kruda parayana. They're bound by the ropes of entanglement. Yeah. They're proud of their money. Idamadzamaya labdham imam prapsye manoratam idamastidamapi me bhavishyanti punardanam asau maya hatashatrur hanishye cha paranapi ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhogam balavan sukhi. This is talking especially about money. Today I have this much money, next year I'll make so much. They always keep making material plans for expanding their money. 6 years are filled with money, on both sides, counting money. And he's smoking money like a cigarette, you see. Correct. Everywhere. He's very proud of his money. This is a hell I was telling you, isn't it? Patanti narake ashuchau, he says. Correct, no? That's what he said. Asuriyanamate loka. Correct, no? They become moha jala samavrita. See, so much pride they had, look at him. This is the way they get tension subsequently, after indulging in all sinful activities. And then patanti narake ashuchau. Then they fall into the hell subsequently. Yeah. So this chapter is very nicely explaining demoniac attitudes. Sense gratification is their attitude. They have no intelligence. And also their engagement is like they create bombs and they destroy the people. They only know how to destroy. They don't know how to create. He says. And what is their mentality? They have insatiable lust. Their mentality is this: I am the controller. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect. I am all powerful. I am the lord of all that survey. I am boss on a boss. That is their mentality. Yeah. So the mentality is given. Their engagements are given. Their attitude is given. Yeah. This is the result. Muda janmani, birth after birth, they suffer they become, dogs, they become cats, they become rats, they become cockroaches, they become amoeba. Like that they get lower and lower bodies and they suffer. Yeah, they preach, they're envious of God also. They preach God is dead, or everybody is God, I am God, all these kind of preachings. So this chapter is very powerful. And all their activities are based on 3 foundational principles: lust, anger, and greed. On the contrary, one who follows the divine path, the first thing is to accept a spiritual master. Beautiful picture, no? Then you study the Vedas. That means you don't want sword, you accept the word, Vedas. Then you follow austerity. Austerity means, restraining the lower nature by engaging in the higher nature, and sense control and spiritual knowledge. Then you meet the Lord face to face. Please read that. What's written there?
The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, lust, anger, and greed, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. Bhagavad Gita 16.22.
Yeah. Yeah. And somebody may think that accepting scripture is an option. It's not an option. It's mandatory. He says here, just Shastra vidhim utsrujya. Nowadays, modern day, especially students in colleges, think that, Tika, that is your viewpoint of life, that you guys accept God. I'm an atheist. They think it's an option. No, if you don't follow Shastra, you're gone. You're doomed. You will be destined to hell for millions of lives. You lose the opportunity. They don't know how horrible, ghastly future awaits them. That's why he says here, na sukham, na param gatim. Are rascal, you can't be happy even in this world, Krishna says, if you don't follow the scripture. That means these people may be imagining they're enjoying, but actually they are suffering. Like I told you about the tiger or the elephant. Actually, Prabhupada explains the camel, when he eats the cactus, it is biting the cactus. Cactus appears soft, but it has thorns, which tears his gums, and he is drinking his own blood. But what is he thinking of it to be? Juice of cactus. Is it juice? So is he suffering? Objectively viewing it, is he suffering or is he enjoying? He's suffering. But what is he thinking? Why is he thinking he's enjoying? In ignorance. Like for a drunkard, for example, is lying in the road. He's crying like this because he has drunken liquor and it is affecting his liver. He's getting disease. So does he know it is due to the liquor he is suffering? He just doesn't know. Initially while drinking he enjoyed it. Now he is suffering now. So one who is not a drunkard can understand this situation in which this fellow is in. It's a very horrible situation. But that fellow doesn't know it's horrible. Again tomorrow he will drink. You will see that. Until he dies. You will see that. So therefore, the people in Rajoguna, Tamaguna, they think they are enjoying, but we know they are suffering. Because certain sufferings are called enjoyments by them. Like, eating chicken, mutton, eating, cockroach, eating snake noodles, all these things. Is it enjoyment? If you are in Sattva-guna, you can clearly see. This is nonsense. But they think it is enjoyment. Correct, no? So it is hellish enjoyment. Therefore, they can neither be happy here, nor can they be happy there, he says. And therefore, the conclusion of the chapter. Please repeat this. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya akarya vyavastithau jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartumiharhasi. Therefore, Arjuna, one should study the Shastra to know what is to be done, what is not to be done. By this, if you do karma like that, you will attain all perfection. So, okay, now continue the purport. Did it?
Those who are cognizant of this responsibility. Throughout the universe, there are only these two types of human being. In the Rig Veda, it is stated that the Suras always aim at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Vishnu and act accordingly. Their ways are as illuminated as the path of the sun.
Yeah.
Intelligent.
So this is the first paragraph. It's talking about Daiva Asura Evacha. You know what that was? Dvau Bhuta Sargau Etasmin Daiva Asura Evacha Devo Vistarasha Prokta. Krishna says, no? There are two types of creatures in this world, Daiva and Asura. Divine and demoniac. So the first paragraph explains about the divine, how the godly persons, they are, right at the beginning of the purport only, Prabhupada clearly says that if you want to be on the divine category, then you should follow the responsibilities in human life, which are spiritual responsibilities, not just material. Like if somebody says, as a father, I am a very responsible father, you see, I train my son to become an engineer or a doctor. People say, even a lion trains its cub, you know that? How to catch the prey? They have videos on that. You will see that. Similarly, you find somebody may say, no, I have made a beautiful house, a bungalow. Even the animals are making beautiful houses. Like you see this weaver bird, how it makes a beautiful house. Every animal makes. You see this honeybees having their community life. They have a queen, they have a drone, they have worker bees. It's like a superb industry. And they all go for a job and bring the honey, and they have a stocking place where they should. Such a brilliant, it's mind-boggling to see. So it's not that humans are very organized, animals are not. In sense gratification, all are organized. Everybody does it very perfectly. Whether it be society, whether it be in romance, is the human being the only romantic fellow? Even he and she cockroach are having romance. The she cockroach is attracted to he cockroach's mustache. He's moving the mustache and trying to impress her. And then both of them are thrown into the dustbin. The next moment by somebody with a jadu. So yeah. You find cockroaches, kutta kutti, billa billi, share, everybody is having romance. It's not that only you can have romance, isn't it? All living creatures have their romance. Everybody has their sex, everybody has their eating, and everybody is sleeping. So what makes you different from them? So animal plus dharma equal to human. Or human minus dharma is animal. That dharma, what is the dharmena hina? That's what he's saying. Go ahead, second paragraph.
Intelligent human beings must always remember that the soul obtains a human form after an evolution of many millions of years in the cycle of transmigration. The material world is sometimes compared to an ocean, and the human body is compared to a solid boat designed especially to cross this ocean. The Vedic scriptures and the acharyas or saintly teachers are compared to expert boatmen, and the facilities of the human body are compared to favorable bridges. that help the boat fly smoothly to its desired destination. If, with all these facilities, a human being does not fully utilize his life for self-realization, he must be considered Atmaha, a killer of the soul. Sri Upanishad warns in clear terms that the killer of the soul is destined to enter into the darkest region of ignorance to suffer perpetually.
Yeah. See, the Guru or the Acharyas or Vaishnavas, they are compared to the captain. And our human body is compared to the solid board. And the favorable breezes are actually scriptures. Scriptures are favorable breezes. Here it says human body facility. Often the scriptures are compared to the favorable breezes. And the shore is the spiritual world. And the ocean is the samsara, material world. So material world we have to go to spiritual world. So if one does not utilize, imagine if somebody jumps out of the boat and dives deep into the water, he is considered Atmaha because he has lost the opportunity to safely land in the seashore. Go ahead.
There are swine, dogs, camels, asses, etc., whose economic necessities are just as important to them as ours are to us. But the economic problems of these animals are solved only under nasty and unpleasant conditions. The human being is given all facilities for a comfortable life by the laws of nature because the human form of life is more important and valuable than animal life. Why is man given a better life than that of a swine and other animals? Why is a highly placed government servant given better facilities than those of an ordinary clerk? The answer is that a highly placed officer has to discharge duties of a higher nature. Similarly, the duties of human beings have to perform are higher than those of animals who are always engaged in simply feeding their hungry stomachs.
For example, here the analogy Prabhupada is giving. Say you're a high court judge drawing, say, 50,000 per month. And the clerk is drawing only 5,000 per month. Out of the two, if you see who is working more harder, the clerk is putting rubber stamp. You've seen that? Chick, 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 chick. All day he's sitting and putting. Physically, he's working very hard. But the judge is just sitting on a big table, looking one side, looking another side, and then writing a concluding statement. Maybe 2-3 pages he may write in a day. And he's getting 50K for that. So can any of you tell me why a judge who writes very little or does very little physical work, he gets 50,000 salary? And the clerk is working so hard, he is getting only 5. More responsible job of giving a judgment. Correct, no? Now, what is the clerk compared to, can you say? And what is the high court judge compared to? Human life. Who is a human life? Judge. And the clerk life? That's a comparison made. Now, why clerk is compared to animal life? Because animals actually, oftentimes you will find, they have quarrel for many things. Like for example, there is a story in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. One heron is like a crane kind of thing. It captured one fish. Then all the other herons came and started pecking him. Now, they were hitting him. And they were wounding his body. It started bleeding. This fellow got frightened. They will kill me, it seems. Dozens of them. Then he dropped the fish. Immediately all of them started attacking one another to get that fish. And this fellow was relieved. Tyaga Chantranantaram. Then he gave up that. But then if you give up that, how will you survive? So the animal kingdom is very tough. There is a cutthroat competition between them. And also, in human kingdom, you don't have to attack somebody and eat them. Like you have a plate of prasad, and prasad doesn't jump away from you. Correct, no? It's there in your plate, you can eat. Whereas for animals, like look at a frog. A fly keeps on flying. Fly has wings, but frog doesn't have wings. But still he has to catch a flying fly. Correct, no? Is it easy or difficult? Difficult, yeah. He has to wait for the right moment. Like lizard, you have seen that? Slowly he will move and come. And the fly is a flying one. Lizard cannot fly with him. Still, that's how he has to catch his prey. Do you agree it is difficult? Yeah. Similarly, a tiger has to chase after a deer. Not very easy. Imagine if a prasadam is running like this in the morning. As soon as the plate is filled, the plate is running, and it's going to Balaji temple, it is going to the gate here. How to run behind the plate? Please, prasadam plate, come. How difficult it would be, isn't it? So therefore, human life is more easy. You can eat smoothly. You don't have to chase after the prasad. It comes. So, and also similarly, you will see sleeping also. Now for human beings, if you see, you can have a door and you have designed a latch. Once you put the latch, nowadays people have this lens also they have. Who is there outside to have more protection. Correct, no? So you can have good protection, and once your latch is put, you are quite safe inside. Nobody can, no thief can enter and trouble you. But the animals, it's not like that. If you see animals, some birds lay some eggs and all in the nest. The night owls are awake, while the other sparrows and all, when they go to sleep, that's the best time owls can attack them and carry away their eggs. So making the smaller birds cry. So similarly, I saw this African safari. They take, many of them find it difficult to take videos because in the dark zones, the ferocious animals attack the weaker animals. So the video is difficult to take because they have opportune time when to attack and all. So animals cannot sleep very peacefully. If they sleep, their life is gone. Even the dolphin fish has one special facility. Do you know that? It has two eyes, no? Why it sleeps with one eye and one eye is open. Why? To safeguard itself from enemies. Then after some time, this eye will sleep. This eye will be open now. That's how they sleep. Because they have to constantly protect themselves. But human life, you will see, you don't have such threats. If you have a one acre of land, you have a cow, you have a bull, plow the land, put the grains, grow the crops. Cow will give you milk. You can do yajna. You can do your religious activities and study Gita. And then even one man, his wife and child, you can live peacefully. Of course, that is your need actually. If you have greed, then you'll have a problem. That's another thing. But human being can live peacefully. He can eat peacefully. He can sleep peacefully. And there is a system of marriage, correct, no? Prabhupada says, look at the dogs. Whole night, wow, 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 wow. There are dozen dogs biting and tearing each other's bodies. And they are quarreling for one she dog. All are behind her. So you can see that. But in human society, it's not supposed to be like that. In human society, you find a man marries a woman and puts a kumkum. Everybody agrees, okay, she's wife of so-and-so. She becomes a dignified personality in society. She's respected as a housewife, a mother. And once she begets 2 or 3 children, oh, she's highly respectable. Housewife. Of course, when one is an unmarried girl, she may have little difficulty. But once married, there's a social system. Correct, no? But animals don't have such kind of, marriage and Vedic mantras chanted and all that. One animal marries one dog or somebody, another big bulldog comes and drives this fellow away. And he takes his wife and runs away. Correct, no? Such kinds of dangers. So eating, sleeping, mating, everything is done under nasty and unpleasant conditions, Prabhupada says. So, therefore, the example of clerk is given. Hard work. Therefore, their economic problems are solved only under hard work. Whereas in human life, it's very quite cool. And why Krishna has kept it cool? So that human beings can take higher responsibility, which is spiritual responsibility. But is the man utilizing his body for spiritual responsibility? What is he doing? Read further. Yet the modern.
Yet the modern soul-killing civilization has only increased the problems of the hungry stomach. When we approach a polished animal in the form of a modern civilized man and ask
So
him
he's
to
calling modern civilized man as a polished animal. Why? Because he acts like a two-legged animal only. He's actually you'll find eating fast food. He's working in he's leaving this village and going to city to work very hard and increase his money. Two things are the goal of modern man: making a lot of money and sense gratification. That's the goal. Therefore, his life has become just like animals. Yeah.
When we approach a polished animal in the form of a modern civilized man and ask him to take interest in self-realization, he will say that he simply wants to work to satisfy his stomach and that there is no need of self-realization for a hungry man. The laws of nature are so cruel, however, that despite his denunciation of the need for self-realization and his eagerness to work hard to fill his stomach, he is always threatened by unemployment.
Prabhupada says he went to 1966 Berkeley University. He was giving a lecture on Bhagavad Gita. One boy got up, Indian boy. He got up and said, Swamiji, what are you talking Bhagavad Gita? It is time for, technology, technological advancement. Prabhupada said, yes, you have come here for technological advancement, so you are a beggar. You have come here to beg for a job, beg for dollar notes. I am not a beggar. I have come to give culture to these people. I have come to give values to these people. So I have come here as a giver. Because you are taking shelter of technology, you are a beggar. I am taking shelter of Krishna, so I am a giver. And Prabhupada said, this Ramakrishna Math Swamiji told me that I should wear a coat pant tie if I have to live in America. But Prabhupada said, if you guys want to wear, you wear. But Prabhupada said, I will continue to wear my dhoti kurta. And now I gave dhoti kurta to Americans. And they are wearing. This is a Vedic dress. So I am giving Vedic dress to people, Vedic values to people, Vedic culture to people. So I have not come here like you, like a beggar. He said, such a very confident answer. You can see that. So therefore you will see, these boys passing out of colleges are compared to dogs, Prabhupada says. Why? Because they are like Shudras, wagging their tail, going from company to company, holding their certificate in the mouth. Sir, is there a job? Searching for a job. Actually, a Brahmana never seeks a job opportunity. In the Vedic times, you sit under a tree, Chatushpat, we call it. Some 20 students come, teach them. Don't ask any money from them. You tell them, I just want to give you knowledge. And knowledge is of different nature. There is, you can teach them and knowledge of the Vedic literature. You can teach them Nyaya. You can teach them Ramayana, Mahabharata, different things. So they would teach knowledge, and the boys, out of their own gratitude, will come and give something to the Guru. And that little was enough for them. The boys will come and give rice, they'll give wheat. And the Brahmana never had a program of saving for the future. Whatever comes of his own account, they would live very peacefully, happily. So therefore, they never took their certificate and went company to company seeking a job. That's a Shudra type of mentality. Prabhupada says modern day society has created Shudras, and then they are only very proud of their profession. Like nowadays, even a barber or a saloon, they are all called with very professional courses names now. In a beauty parlor, those who start and all, very nice names. Huh? Hairstyle designer, correct, no? Yeah, something like that. They have very professional names now. See, in Vedic time, certain Brahmanas will cook for marriages. Now they have catering technology, correct, no? They just give big names for this. And then they create unemployment, he's saying. That means they've forgotten the work of self-realization, so they have become like animals. Therefore, the life has become like nowadays, even Brahmanas' sons and grandsons now have become reprobates in India. For example, some of them have become drunkards and smokers also. But whenever there is a marriage, cooking and all has to be done, suddenly they will wear a white sacred thread, new one. And so otherwise they won't be allowed to cook. Only then they'll get chance for cooking. And after cooking, when they take the money and go home, remove it and keep it in the, hang it so that when next marriage. And then because they have to drink liquor and smoke, this kind of life they're leading. Have they not become like animals? That's what he's saying. Go ahead, next para.
We are given this human form of life not to work hard like asses, swine, and dogs, but to attain the highest perfection of life. If we do not care for self-realization, the laws of nature force us to work very hard, even though we may not want to do so. Human beings in this age have
See, here, very important point. There are two routes you can take. Take the route of self-realization, which we all are taking by Prabhupada's grace and Prabhupada's training through his books, and in the Guru Parampara we are taking. How peaceful and happy our life is, you can see. Because, you rise early in the morning, attend the whole morning program, and then in the daytime you study the books, and evening you teach the people, give them values, give them culture, give them right lifestyle, and a healthy lifestyle, physically healthy also. Like we say, physical fitness, the mental soundness, and similarly, at every level, at economic level, at intelligence level, at spiritual level, you can actually make people very sound. But instead of this type of very happy lifestyle, if you don't follow this route of self-realization, another route is sense gratification. In that route, what happens? Then life is like animals, cutthroat competition. That route is animal life. I told you how animal life is. So they have to live like that. Go ahead.
Human beings in this age have been forced to work hard like the asses and bullocks that pull carts. Some of the regions where the asuras were sent to work are revealed in this verse of Sri Upanishad. If a man fails to discharge his duties as a human being, he is forced to transmigrate to the Asuriya planet and take birth in degraded species of life to work hard in ignorance and darkness.
Yeah, see, this already you all know very well how human form is for a higher duty. Failing from the higher duty forces him to work very hard. I'll tell you a simple thing. Say, if somebody can get into IIT or NIT, for example, their job opportunities are very easy. You know that? There are hundreds of companies which come there. Very easily they get placed. And because they have slogged hard before only. Correct, no? From 8th or 9th standard, they slog hard and they get in. Now, if you don't get that, then there are other colleges down. And below the NIT, there are some government colleges. If you miss that also, then there are private colleges. If you miss the private also, then the capitation fee you go. Correct, no? Then afterwards, in those colleges, somehow you become engineer, but what about job opportunities? They become very difficult, very challenging. Correct, no? Same principle here. Self-realization is like the highest cadre. If you do the self-realization, your life can be very smooth, even in this world also. But failing that, then your life is going to be slogging life. There's no alternative for you. If you even same principle with brahmacharya ashram also. If you either you can become a Goswami. If your senses are controlled, you can lead a happy life, peaceful life, and focused life in spiritual life. But if we are going to let the senses loose, they become Godas, then Adogati. Afterwards, one's life will become hellish. Therefore, he is saying, out of the two, human life is meant for self-realization. If you don't take up the responsibility, the default alternative is animal life. You may say, no, I'm not an animal, I'm a human, but we will behave like animals only. There is nothing, no other alternative. So, therefore, we are putting ourselves in a risky situation by not taking the spiritual life and self-realization seriously. Yeah, read it further.
In the Bhagavad Gita 6.41 to 43, it is stated that a man who enters upon the path of self-realization but does not complete the process.
Okay, now Prabhupada is going to give the positive alternative, which means some of you may be thinking, oh, this verse is very discouraging, very frightening. It's talking about hell and talking about animal life and everything. So therefore, Prabhupada is now concluding the last part, saying that, for a person who takes a spiritual life, there are three options. One option is practice Krishna consciousness very seriously and go back to Godhead. If you become a pure devotee and go back to Godhead, if you are intense and serious. Today morning we were hearing about Sridhar Swami's commentary, He said, Yatna Shaitilyam. Yatna Shaitilyam, he said, which means slackness in intensity in spiritual life is the cause of repeated birth and death. Like that he says. Yeah, Yatna Shaitilyam in the Gajendra Moksha commentary. So, so if somebody is not doing sufficient yatna in spiritual life, then there is a second option. If you didn't go back to Godhead, then the second option, in that there are two categories, he says. What is the category? One is, in case one is continuing to have material desires in spiritual life, to give shape to those material desires, one will go to heaven. Because heaven is a place for fulfilling material desires. And then when one falls from the heaven, one gets two type of bodies. Shuchinam, Srimatam, Gehe. Yoga Brashto Vijayate, he says. Why in Shuchinam? Why you get in a Brahminical body? Because in Brahmana's home, the good sanskaras will be there. You will visit the temple, puja part will happen, worship of the Lord. So Lord is putting you in a very favorable situation to continue your spiritual life. Correct, no? Or you're born in an aristocratic family, then for eating and living and all, there is no tension. Everything is arranged. You see the families like Marwadi family, Agarwal family and all that, Gujarati family. Money is there, so they lead very pious life. They worship the Lord also. So Lord is giving you, see how beautiful the Lord's plan is. If you are a devotee, even if you did little devotional service, He's giving you pleasures in the heaven, and followed by birth in a Brahmana family or a Vaishya family. Very nice, conducive situation is giving you to advance. Just because you did little devotional service, even little, 20-30% you did, that's all. But if somebody has done a long term of devotional service, say somebody did 80-90% perfection is achieved, but they could not complete that Krishna consciousness in that life, then they don't go to heaven, because there is no material desire. They have already done 80-90% of Krishna consciousness. Now they want to do more, but the body has come run out of fuel. Expiry date has come for the body. So they will be born in Acharya's families. And Prabhupada gives the example of himself and his guru. So they are born in Acharya's families where right from birth they are very serious about spiritual life. So then not only they do Krishna consciousness, they actually help the world also in a very big way. And then they go back to Godhead. So there are three options I told you. First one is, you have perfected your life, so you have no punarjanma at all. Taktva deham punarjanma naiti amit. That's the first category. And second category is born in Acharya families. Nice Vaishnava family. And third category is go to heaven, prapya punyakratam lokan ushitva shashwati samaha, and then chuchinam srimatam. So all three are wonderful. Do you agree? And all three are for whom? For those who are taken to the path of auspicious path of devotional service. Is there any pain in any other paths? Tell me. Here you go to heaven and come back Suchinam Srimata, or you born in Acharya family, or you go back to Godhead. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying here, be intelligent. Taking to the path of self-realization means it is completely auspicious path. Krishna says, Nahi kalyanakrit kasyet, durgatim tata gacchati. He tells him in that verse, my dear Arjun, if you have taken to the auspicious path, there's nothing to worry. What follows is only full of auspiciousness, like that he says. Kalyanakrit kasyet, he says. So that's what is, the devotee is given assurance in this. And then he says that, but those who don't even make an attempt, who want to be covered by illusion, who are too materialistic and too attached to material enjoyment, must enter into the darkest regions of hell. And materialistic asuras sometimes make a show of religion, but their ultimate aim is material prosperity. That's karmakandis. Karmakandis don't surrender to Krishna, they just surrender to some demigod, and they are also counted as asuras only here. Because why he is saying that like this? Actually, he is not even talking about karmakandis. These are worse than karmakandis also. Some people, like you say Ganapati Baba Moria time, people see whose Ganesh is biggest Ganesh. Are they dahi handi and all they do, no? 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees competition they keep. They want to make a show of being very dharmic. But there is no yajna, there is no distribution of prasadam, there is no alignment with Supreme God. So they are also counted as asuras only here. And then Bhagavata rebukes such men as Atma Sambhavita and considered great only on the strength of deception, and are empowered by the words of ignorant people and by their own material wealth. Such asuras, devoid of self-realization and knowledge of Vishavasya, they also certainly enter into darkest regions. They make a show of, like you will see these politician fellows, if Janmashtami is coming, happy Janmashtami, they will put on the board and they will put the 40 faces, they will put political faces. You've seen that? And then Ramzan will come, happy Ramzan, and then put all 40 faces. Any sane man can understand. For them, happy Christmas, and put the faces. So what is the goal? Are they very much devoted to God? Happy Christmas. Hey, Christmas dal rahe hain. And Christians will think they're putting Christmas, Muslims will think they're putting Ramzan, and Hindus will think they're putting Janmashtami. They want votes from votes of the ignorant. He says. Therefore, such fools, they also go to hell only, he says. Because they are using God for whose purpose? Their own purpose, yeah. The conclusion is that as human beings, we are meant not simply for solving economic problems on a tottering middle platform, but for solving all the problems of material life into which we have been placed by the laws of nature. So the goal of life is no more material world, no more material body, no more misery. Go back to Godhead. If you don't prepare for that, simply trying to set right the economic situation of the world, Prabhupada says Gandhi worked hard for freedom struggle. What freedom he got? He was shot dead. Prabhupada says, the same man who was so selfless, he had no, even if you say that I will be non-violent, I will be selfless, I will wear simply one dhoti and be satisfied, people still shoot you. That is the material world, such a horrible material world. Even such a selfless person is shot in this world. Therefore, one should not try to make this material world a better place. Rather, one should better leave this material world and go back to Godhead. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. So we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Isopanishad ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.